Today on RetroBytes, we're going to be taking a look at the Sega Genesis. Sega Genesis, which was released in '89, definitely was the competition to the 8-bit NES. Later became the main competition for the Super Nintendo. The system has a lot of great titles, which now I think are respected more so than when they were released. Today we're going to be taking a look at Comix Zone. That's one of my favorite games for the system. What I remember most about this game is when it released, it came out a year into the 32X already being available, releasing, I suppose, what would be considered a legitimate title this late in the lifespan. Kind of rubbed people the wrong way, but in my opinion, it was the weird Sega tactics that we were starting to see. We're gonna go ahead and jump into this one now. Take a look. That's awesome. Was that Elvis who just did that? Just hearing that Sega announcement, whether it's Elvis or not, is definitely iconic to say the least. So what I definitely think was the main thing that stood out about this game to me was the comic book panels, as you can see. So you're actually jumping through the panels and he draws in the enemies for you to fight, which is so cool. That Statue of Liberty head back there, which reminds me of Planet of the Apes. Like, one thing that stands out immediately to me is the Sega color palette. It just is not as good, I guess, as the Super Nintendo color palette. But remember though, the Sega Genesis released in the lifetime of the 8-bit Nintendo. So if this came out and you have Mario and Rad Racer and Duck Hunt to compare graphics to, of course this is going to completely blow that away. Something about the music is distinctly Sega, by the way. They had like this hard, twangy synth type of sound, which, honestly, back then I didn't necessarily appreciate it. I love those orchestral type of sounds that the Super Nintendo has, mainly because I'm into classical music, I suppose. But this music is, again, distinctly Sega. Let's get through this real quick. So I picked my rat up. So the artist, your hero here, has a rat. It's kind of like his go-to. Helps him get through like pipes and things like that. And okay, I think I just left the rat. It's cool. I'm not really into rodents. So I do believe there are some enemies in here. Ah, there we go. So I recall when this dropped for the Sega channel, obviously there was nothing that I'd seen like this before. And to be honest, there's nothing that I can think of that looks like this now, or that has released like this now. Just funny, with the popularity of comics at like a fever pitch, it's interesting that nothing similar to this has been dropped for the masses. Pretty sure it would do good. Go ahead and do my Van Damme kick on him. I can still do that in real life. I'm just saying. Don't at me, bro. Okay. So the other thing about the Genesis that just can't be understated is the controller. I know that it's not necessarily the biggest deal because you can just buy a 6-button controller, but when this dropped with just the controller with 3 buttons, it was weird. And I don't care what anybody says, it was weird. Not being able to immediately play Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter properly, that really sucked. And anyone who says it didn't, you're lying. Not just to yourself, you're lying to the fans. So with this game, okay. With this game, you have one man. Kind of forgot about that. I don't want to say Nintendo hard because this is Sega, but yeah, their games are pretty rough also. I think this one, something like Contra Hardcore, like those games kind of epitomize how difficult a lot of Sega games were as well. Wish it could have got a little bit further, but I don't really play these all the way through. Just kind of want to give you an overview. Definitely a great game. I think ahead of its time. but way too late in the lifespan of the Genesis, I think, for this to come out. It would have been great for this to be ported over, or maybe even made specifically for the 32X. That would have been a better idea. Having this drop for $60 when your 32-bit system was already out and producing games was just kind of weird. I don't know. I'm not the only one who thinks that. In any case, it's Retro Bytes. Let me know what you think.